Let's take a look at the Electric One guitar parts from the song Jesus at the Center by Israel and New Breed. This song is at 129 BPM and is in the key of A, and let's take a look at the effects we'll use in the song first. Similar to the Electric 2 parts, we're going to have a quarter note delay, about 4 or 5 repeats set sounding like this. And we also can have a light verb that can sit behind our playing, and I have mine sounding like this. So both together sound like this. And also we're going to be having a medium gain overdrive on, and I have mine sounding like this. Like that. The Electric One first enters the song on verse 2, and we'll come in with a high picking part with our delay, reverb, and overdrive on. And we'll be playing pretty lightly through this section, and I'll demonstrate the part first. With no delay or reverb on, this part starts on the 5th fret on the B and high E strings. So 5 on the B, 5 to the high E, and then 5 on the B to 7 on the high E. Then we're going to hit 9 on the high E. We do that again, 5 and 5, the B to the high E, 5 to 7. And then we're going to hit 5 on the high E, and then we're going to go 4 on the high E to 5 on the B to 4 on the G. Okay, so up to that point we have okay. Then the next part we're going to go 2nd fret on the G to 4th fret on the G, slide up to the 6th fret on the G. So, and then 5th fret on the B, back to 6th fret on the G, so that's, and then we go 4 on the G, 2 on the G, back to 4 on the G, to 2 on the G, back to 4, so that's, okay, and then we go to 7 on the G, to 6 on the G, slide down to 4 on the G, to slide down to 2 on the G, so that's, and then we're going to go 2, slide 4 on the D. And then the last part is going to be 5 on the high E, 4 on the high E, to 5 on the B. So with no effects on, that back half sounds like this. Chorus 1, we're going to be picking through chords. It's similar to the Electric 2 parts, but we'll be complementing some of the parts. So I'll demonstrate first. So taking a closer look with no effects, we're going to start on the 2nd fret on the G, then 3rd fret on the B, 5th fret on the high E, so, and then we're going to go 3 on the B, 2 on the B, 2 on the G, slide up to 4 on the G, so, okay, and then after that we're going to go 2nd fret on the D, and we're barring this, the 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, And then we're going to put our pinky on the 5th fret on the B, so. And then we're going to do that again, 2 on the D, 2 on the G, and then 2 on the B, so. Then to 3 on the B, and slide up to the 5th fret on the B, and then back to 2 on the B. So that's, okay. And then we're going to strum a 1/3 chord. So it's 4 on the A, then barring the 2nd fret on the G, sorry, the D, G, and B strings. Then we're going back to 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 5 on the high E. And then we're doing that same lick, 3, 2 on the B, 2 on the G, slide up to 4. And then we're strumming a minor chord. So that's 4 on the D string, and then we're barring the G, D, and high E strings. G, B, and high E strings there on the 2nd fret. And then we're going to a 5 chord here, which is going to be 4th fret on the G string with your 1st finger, 5th fret on the B string with your 3rd finger, and 4th fret on the high E string with your 2nd finger. Next, we have an interlude section, which will be playing a higher octave of the E2 part, and I'll demonstrate first. So with no effects, it goes on the 9th fret on the G, to the 10th fret on the B, so. And then we're going to go 12th fret on the B to 14th fret on the B, slide up to 15th fret on the B, so. Then back to the 14th fret on the B, slide down to the 10th fret on the B, and then hit the high E string on the 12th. So that first part is. Okay, and the second part is the exact same thing, except we land on the 10th fret on the B. We don't go to the high E string. Verse 2 follows the same exact part as verse 1, except the very end, it arpeggiates over the 4 chord to the 5. So with the effects on, the last 2 chords are going to sound like this. With no effects, we are doing 2nd on the G string, 3rd on the B, then 5th on the high E string, back to 3 on the B, 2 on the G, then 3 on the B, so it's. And then we're going to go to 4 on, this is for the 5 chord, 4 on the G string, and then 5 on the high E string to 4 on the high E string. Next is chorus 2, which is a double chorus, and it's going to be very similar to chorus 1, but we're just adding in some chords and some notes to help build the song, and I'll demonstrate it first. Looking at chorus 2 with no effects, we start first with a 1/3 chord. So our 3rd finger is on the 4th fret on the A string, and we're going to bar the 2nd fret on the D, G, and B strings. So then to a 4 chord in D. Then we're going to play the open high E string to the 3rd fret on the B. And then we're going to do our little lick That's our 3rd fret on the B, 2nd fret on the B, 2nd fret on the G, slide up to 4th fret on the B. And then we're going to hit 4th fret on the G, sorry. And then we're going to hit the 5th fret on the B. So up to there it sounds like this. Okay, and then open A string, 2 on the G string, and then 5 on the B. So, and then we're gonna do 2 on the D, 2 on the G, 2 on the B, 3 on the B, 5 on the high E to 2 on the B. So that is. Okay, and then we're gonna play an A chord here. So we're just gonna bar the D and G strings with our 1st finger on the 2nd fret and play the open A string. And then a 1/3, and then a D chord, and then the high E open to 3rd fret again on the B. And then our lick, 3, 2 on the B, 2 on the G, slide up to 4 on the G, so, and then 5 on the B. And then we're gonna do our 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the D string, sorry. So this is over the minor chord, the 6th minor. So 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the D string, and then we're barring the 2nd fret on the B and high E string. So it goes D, B, E, B, D, B, E, B. And then we're going to strum a 5 chord, which is going to be 1st finger on the 4th fret on the G, 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the B, and 2nd finger on the 4th fret on the high E. So that's the first half. And then for the second half, we're going to kind of harmonize with this line. We're going to go 5th fret on the high E string to 7th fret on the high E, slide up 7 to 9 on the high E, and then 10th fret. So right like that. And then we're going to go 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, 4. So that's our lick with just some added notes. So 3 on the B to 5 on the high E, back to 3 on the B, 2 on the B, 2 on the G to 4, so on the G there, okay? And then we're gonna hit that B string on the 5th fret after all that. So we're adding in more notes this time, so. Okay, and then we're gonna do the open A string to the 2nd fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, okay? And then we're doing the same 2 on the D, 2 on the G, 2 on the B, and 3 on the B, 5 on the high E, back to 2 on the B, so. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same line as electric 2 here, is 2, 3, 3 slide 5, 5 slide 11, so on the B string, then 3, 5, 2 on the B, 2 slide 4, so, and then 5 out on the B after that. And then we're strumming through a minor chord. So it's 4 on the 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the D string, and then barring the 2nd fret on the G, B, and high E strings. And then to an E chord to end that chorus. Next part of the song is a bridge, which is down, and we're going to build halfway through it. We're going to be arpeggiating some of the chords, and then we're going to go to big chords for the second half of it, with just some added lines and some higher inversions mixed in. I'll play it first. So playing that bridge part with no effects, we're going to do 1st finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string on the 5th fret. So we go G, B, high E, back to B, and do it again. G, B, high E, B, and then we're going to slide up for the 5 chord. 1st finger on the 4th fret on the G, third finger on the B string on the fifth. But then we're going to do a sus of it. So sus of the 5 chords. So our pinky's going to be on the 5th fret on the high E string. So then the 4th fret on the high E string to the 5th fret on the B, and then we're going to strum the triad. So up to that point, it's and then we're going to big chords, and we're playing 8th notes. So to E, to F sharp minor, to D, and then we're going to go to the E here, the E sus to the E. Same kind of shapes we had at that picking part. So it's going to be first finger on the 4th fret on the G, third finger on the 5th fret on the B, pinky on the high E string on the 5th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to take our pinky off and put our third finger on the 4th fret on the high E string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back to a regular E major chord. And then we're following the melody here. We're going to go 7 on the B string. So 7th fret on the B string, up to 9th fret on the B string, to 7 on the B, 5 on the B, 2 on the B, then 4 on the G to 2 on the G. So, okay. And then we're going to a D, and then we're going to diamond on the E sus and diamond on the E for the end of that section. Next, we have a down verse that builds at the end and it tags a few times, which we will be arpeggiating through the chords. And then we're going to start building it with doing an ascending line. And then there's a bridge, which we're going to be playing a line over that. So I'll demonstrate what all these parts sound like first, and then we'll take a closer look at them. So taking a look at each of these sections with no effects, first we're arpeggiating through the 4 to 5 chord. So we're going to do first finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, fourth finger on the high E string on the 5th fret. So we're going G, B, high E, B, G, B, high E, B. Then using that same string picking pattern, you're sliding up 2 frets. So it's going to be 4, 5, 7 on the G, B, high E. So 4, 5, 7, 5, 4, 5, 7, 5. And you do it again. So 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5, 4, 5, 7, 5. Then we're playing an ascending line using 16th notes on the B string. So it's going to go 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 5, 7, 9, 10. So that's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And you do that again. And then we do a lick or a riff over the bridge, which starts on the 12th fret on the B string. So with 2 hits on the B, then with your 3rd finger, and then you're going to go to the 10th fret with your 1st finger. So back to 12th fret on the B, and then 2 hits on the high E string, and then back to 12th fret on the B to 10th fret on the B. So it's, and you're to repeat that over and over again up until the drums only bridge. So a little more in time is going to sound like this. We have a drums only bridge and an a cappella bridge. And then when we come back in, we start building using that riff, that lick that we did over the bridge. And we're going to have our delay, reverb, and overdrive on. And then it builds up into a solo. Now, I'll demonstrate the solo section and we'll take a closer look at it. So taking a closer look at that solo, it starts on the 5th fret on the B string, and it's going to be ascending on the B string using 16th notes. So it's 5th fret on the B, 7th fret on the B, 9th fret on the B, back to 5th fret on the B, then 10th fret on the B, 12th fret on the B, 14th fret on the B. So that first section sounds like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. And then we're going to go to the 12th fret on the high E string, back to the 14th fret on the B, 12th on the high E string, back to the 14th fret on the B. So that part is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay? And then we're going to slide up to the 10th fret on the B, to the 12th fret on the high E, and you go back and forth between those two notes. So 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. Okay. Then we're going to go 10 on the B string. You're going to descend down on the B string. So 10, 10, 9, 9, 7, 7, 5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 3, 5. Okay. So okay, then you're going to slide up to the 9th fret, and we're going to do a lick up here that starts on the 12th fret with your pinky on the high E string, then 12 on the B, 10 on the B, 9 on the B, back to 10 on the B to 12 on the B. So that's one time through, so it's 12, 12, 10, 9, 10, 12. Okay, so you do it, you play that through 12, 12, 10, 9, 10, 12, 12, 12, 10, 9, 10, 12, 12, 12, 10, okay? Then back to 12 on the high E string. And then we're gonna go up high to the 14th fret, and we're gonna follow the melody, the vocal melody. So it's 14 on the high E string, to 14 slide 16, 14 on the high string, 12 on the high string, then 12 slide 14 on the B string, back to 12 on the B slide 10. So that sounds like, okay? And then we're sliding up to this 10th fret on the B to the 10th fret on the high E, back to 10 on the B to 12 on the high E, then 10 and 10 on the B to E, and then 10 and 12, and then 10 and 10. So that is, okay, and then we're going to ascend up the high E string with 16th notes, so the 12th fret on the high E string with 1 E and a, then to the 14th fret on the high E string, 2 E and a, and then to the 16th fret for 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1, and slide off. So the very end of it is, let's take a look at the electric 2 guitar parts from the song Jesus at the Center by Israel and New Breed. This song is in the key of A, and it's at 129 BPM. Let's take a look at the effects we'll use first. First, we'll have a quarter note digital delay with about 4 repeats or so, moderate mix level. I have mine sounding like this. Then we're just going to have a light reverb. I just have a light spring reverb sounding like this. So that's the delay and reverb together. So just the reverb will sound like this. And then the delay and reverb. And I also have a medium gain overdrive that I'll have on the whole time, and it will sound like this. So with the delay and reverb and overdrive. The electric 2 first enters the song in chorus 1 with a picking part. We'll have our overdrive, delay, and reverb on, and we'll just be picking through the notes slightly. I'll play the part first, and then we'll take a closer look. So that part with no effects or overdrive on starts on the 2nd fret on the G string, then goes to the 3rd fret on the B string, and the 5th fret on the high E. So first 2 notes, and then it does a little lick, goes 3rd fret on the B to 2nd fret on the B, 2nd fret on the G, and slide up to the 4th fret on the G. So okay, so we have then we're going to go up to the 9th fret on the G, to the 10th fret on the B, and then we're going to go 9, 10, 9 on the high E there, then to the 10th on the high E, and then 9 on the G, 9 on the high E, and then 10 on the B. So that lick is okay. And then we go back down to the 2nd fret on the B string, 3rd fret on the B, slide up to the 5th fret on the B, then slide to the 7th fret on the B. So that is follows the melody. Then we go back to that other lick, goes 3 on the B, 2 on the B, 2 on the G, slide up to 4. So, and then we're gonna strum through a minor chord. So 4th fret on the D string, then you're barring the G, B, and high E strings with your 1st finger on the 2nd fret. And then we're gonna go to the 4th fret on the high E, 5th fret on the high E, and then back to the 4th fret on the high E. So with no effects on, the whole part sounds like this. For the interlude, after chorus 1, we're going to be having our delay, reverb, and overdrive on, and we'll play a line that sounds like this, and we'll take a closer look at it. So with no effects on, it starts on the 2nd fret on the D string to the 2nd fret on the G. So then you're going to go 4th fret on the G to the 6th fret on the G, slide up to the 7th fret on the G, back to the 6th fret on the G, and then slide down to the 2nd fret on the G. So it's and you do that again. For the verse after that, we're going to be starting with some swells and then picking through notes throughout the verse. I'll play it through and then we'll take a closer look. So that verse, with no effects on, we're swelling up on the 2nd fret on the G string. So it's then the 4th fret on the G, and then the 6th fret on the G, okay? And then we're gonna go to the 2nd fret on the D, up to the 2nd fret on the G, then back to the 2nd fret on the D, to the 4th fret on the G, and then 2nd fret on the D to the 1st fret on the G. Okay? So that part is okay, and then the last part, we're going to go up to the 9th fret on the G, to the 10th fret on the B, then to the 12th fret on the high E, to the 9th fret on the B, okay, and then to the 9th fret on the G, to the 10th fret on the B, and then you're going to slide up 10th fret to the 12th fret on the B, back to the 10th fret on the B, to the high E string on the 12th fret, and then we're going to go 9th fret on the G to 10th fret on the B. Do that twice. Then back to the 9th fret on the G to the 9th fret on the B to the 9th fret on the G. And then we're going to hit an E chord, power chord, so 7th on the A string, and then the 9th fret on the D string. And then we're going to do a 1/3 chord here, and that's going to be a 1st finger on the 4th fret on the A string, while your pinky is on the 7th fret on the D. And then we're going to hit a 4 chord as the downbeat of the chorus there, which is going to be 1st finger on the 5th fret on the A and your pinky on the 7th fret on the D. The next chorus is very similar to the first chorus that we played, but we're adding in a couple different octaves of some of the lines, and we're going to be a little bit more aggressive in our tone. I'm going to go to my bridge position. We're still having on our overdrive, delay, and reverb. I'll play through the part and we'll take a closer look after. So that part, that chorus part, just has a few different variations from the other chorus. So we start on hitting power chord on the 4 chord on the D. So 1st finger on the 5th fret on the A, and pinky is going to be on the 7th fret on the D string. And then we're going to go to that 3 on the B string, 2 on the B string, 2 on the G string, slide up to 4 on the G. So, okay. And then we're going to go up to this high triad type chord, and we're going to 9th fret on the G, 10th fret on the B, 9th fret on the high E. So then we go 10 on the B, 10 on the high E, 10 on the B, 9 on the high E, back to 10 on the B. So that part is okay, and then we're going to do a higher octave of a line that we played on the first chorus, and it's going to start on the 9th fret on the high E, to the 10th fret on the high E, slide it to the 12th fret on the high E, and then to the 14th fret on the high E. So, okay, and then we go back down to the B string on the 3rd fret, 2nd fret on the B, 2nd fret on the G, slide up to the 4th fret on the G. So, okay, and then we're gonna strum through a 6th chord here. Okay, so that's your 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the D, borrowing the 2nd fret on the G, B, and high E strings. Then we're going to play a 5 chord and E chord. And then we're going to go to that line, but a lower octave, on the B string, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, okay, on the B. Then we're going to go back to our little lick, the 2, or 3, 2, 2, 4, there. And then we're back up to the same high kind of triad, that 9 on the G, 10 on the B, 9 on the high E, so. And then 10, 10, 10, 9, 10, okay. Then we're up high again, on the high E string, 9, 10, 10, 12, 12, 14, okay. Then back down to that lick that's lower again on the B on the 3rd, B on the 2nd, G on the 2nd to 4th, G on the 4th fret. So. And then we're strumming through another minor chord. And then we're doing that lick that ended the first chorus. 4th fret on the high E, 5th fret on the high E, back to the 4th fret on the high E string. Next is a bridge which starts down and we come in halfway building. We build it all the way until another down verse. And let's take a look at that part. So we come in building on a 4 chord, 2 measures before halfway through. We start on the 10th fret on the high E and 10th fret on the B. We go back and forth. Then we slide up to the 12th fret on the high E and B. And then we go to some higher inversions to drive the chords. So we're going to do an E5 chord, E chord. We're going to do first finger on the 9th fret on the G and bar the 12th fret on the B and high E string here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to go to the 6th chord here and we're going to play this inversion over it. Still your first finger is on the G string on the 9th fret, 2nd finger on the 10th fret on the B, and your pinky on the high E string on the 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go to a 4 chord here. So first finger goes down to the 7th fret on the G, and you bar with your pinky the high E and B on the 10th fret. And then we're going to slide up with an octave here to the 12th fret, 9th fret on the G, 12th fret on the high E string, and then up to the 11th fret on the G, and pinky on the 14th fret on the high E string, and then up to the 13th fret on the G, and the 16th fret on the high E string. So that part sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're back to the 5 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to do a little lick here following the melody. So it's going to be 3rd finger on the 11th fret on the G. Slide up to the 13th fret on the G. Back to the 11th fret on the G, to the 9th fret on the G. So, and then we're going to slide on the 9th fret on the D up to the 11th fret on the D. So it's, and then to the 9th fret on the D, and you end that lick on the 7th fret on the D. So that lick following the melody is. Okay, and then we're back to the 4 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we diamond out. We just hit a single strum on the 5 chord for the end of the bridge. After the bridge, there's a down verse, and we come in towards the end, arpeggiating through some chords, building with the song, and it tags a few times. And let's take a look at what those chords sound like. with no effects, we're picking through the 4 chord to the 5 chord. We're playing so a D shape here, D2 shape, first finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and then the open E. So we go 2, 3, 0, 3, 2, 3, 0, 3. Then we slide that up to the 4th fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, and then the high E. So 4, 5, 0, 5, 4, 5, 0, 5. And we do that twice. And then we go to some just big power chords, and we're building with the song to the next drum section, which is just drums. And then there's a section that's just singing, just a cappella. And then we're back in building, just following big power chords for the rest of the song. And those are the electric 2 guitar parts from the song Jesus at the Center by Israel and New Breed. Let's take a look at the acoustic guitars at the song Jesus at the Center by Israel and New Breed. This song is in the key of A. We'll be playing it in standard, no capo for this song. And I just wanted to take a closer look at these guitar parts because we're going to be using some unique chord voicings in this song. So let's take a look at verse 1 first. I'll demonstrate it and then we'll take a closer look at it. So the chord progression we'll be playing in this song is a 1. We'll be playing an A here. We're going to be playing it with our 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the D string and our 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the G. And we'll be using our fingers for this first verse. We'll be playing the A string with our thumb, open A, then the D string on the 7th where our 3rd finger is, then the G string on the 6th where our 2nd finger is, then the B, open B string, and open E. So it's... And then we're going to a 2 chord here. And we're going to be leaving our 3rd finger there on the 7th fret on the D string. Our 4th finger is going to go on the 7th fret on the G, and our 2nd finger on the low E string on the 7th fret. So this is the 2 chord, or the B minor 7. And we're going to be playing through the low E string, D, G, open B, and the high E. And then we're going to go up that same shape up 2 frets to the 9th fret. And that's a 1 over 3, which is an A over C sharp in the key of A. So those first 3 chords are... Okay. And then we're going to go to a 4 chord. We're going to play a 4 major 7, a D major 7. And we're going to be playing this with our 1st finger on the 5th fret on the A string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the D, 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the G string, then your pinky, your 4th finger on the 7th fret on the B, and you're going to be barring on the 5th fret with your 1st finger to get that high E string on the 5th fret. So going through that chord, the 4 major 7 chord is going to sound like this. Okay. And then we go back to a 1 chord. And then we're going to go to a 5 sus chord to a 5. So it's... So what we're doing to the 5 sus is all going to be our, it's going to be on the 2nd fret with our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the A, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret on the D, and our pinky on the G string on the 2nd fret. So it's... And then we're going to take our pinky off so our 1st finger is on the 1st fret on the G. Okay? And then for the back half of the verse, we're going to go to 4 major 7 again, to 1, to 5, and then we're going to play a 6 chord, F sharp minor 7. I'm playing mine on the 4th fret on the A string on the 4th fret with my 3rd finger, 4th fret on the D string with my 4th finger, and 1st finger is going to go on the 2nd fret on the G string. So again, that's 3rd finger on the A string on the 4th fret, 4th finger on the D string on the 4th fret, 1st finger on the 2nd fret on the G string. And I'm plucking through those chords. Go 6, 5, and then we go back to 4 major 7, then we go to a 5 sus. And then we repeat that again. For the first chorus, we'll be switching to our pick here, and we're going to do a little walk up out of that 5 sus chord, out of the verse, to go open A string, 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the A string, so it's, and then we're up to our 4 major 7 chord, arpeggiating it through like we did in the verse. And then we go to the 2 minor 7 chord, that B minor 7 voicing, and then we're going to go to a 1 chord. We're going to be playing this one, this shape here. It's going to be our 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the D, 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the G, 1st finger on the 5th fret on the B. Then we're going to slide that up here to the same shape on the 14th on the D string, 13th on the G string, and 12th on the B. So, and you do it again. Then we go back to the 4 chord, to the 2 chord, then we go to a 6 chord. For this 6 chord, I'm using the same voicing that I did on the 2 minor 7 chord. So 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the low E string, 3rd finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, and your 4th finger on the G string on the 2nd fret. So you do E, D, G, B, E strings to that. And then we're going to play a diamond, just a single note strum on the 5 chord. So here's what chorus 1 sounds like. For the turnaround after chorus 1, we'll be doing the same 1 chord. Then we go to 2, 3, and then we're going to go to a 4 major 7 chord. I'm playing mine with the open B and E strings. It sounded like that's what he was doing on the recording. So I'm just doing 1st finger on the 5th fret on the A, 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the D, and 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the G. Okay, and you're not playing the low E string. And we're doing that again, so do that twice. So. And do it again. For the next verse, we play the same part that we did in the first verse, but we're using our pick to play through that. And then we get to another chorus where we're going to be doing the same thing that we did in the first chorus. Out of the second chorus, we get into a down bridge, and we're going to come in on the 3rd and 4th chords of the bridge, which are 4 and 5 chord. We're going to use 10th intervals. So it's a 4 chord here, so we're going to do our 1st finger on the 5th fret on the A string, and our pinky on the 7th fret on the B. I'm using my thumb and 1st finger to pluck those. And then we're doing the same shape up on the 7th and 9th fret for the 5 chord. Okay. Then we're going to play diamond, so we're going to do 5 chord, and then we're going to do a 6. This is that second, all on the 2nd fret, 6 chord shape that we played earlier. Then to an A2 chord here, with just our open A string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret on the D, 4th finger on the 2nd fret on the G, and play the B and high E strings. And then we're going to build up on the 4 chord to the 5 chord. Then once we build up, we're in big with the chords for the back half of that bridge. The next verse is down, and we're picking through it. And then we start building with 16th notes at the end for the tags, building up into the big bridge, which we'll just play full on with the chords. And then from after that, we're in building and strumming just through the chords, just being really dynamic and helping the song finish out. And we end the song on a 4 chord, and we just play a bunch of 4 chords to help celebrate at the end of the song. And those are the acoustic guitar parts from the song Jesus at the Center by Israel and New Breed.
Let's take a look at some of the bass parts for Jesus at the Center. For this song, there is a lot going on with bass. It's pretty much, the rhythm section is driving most of this song, as well as the dynamics of it. They're kind of going up and down a lot. And so it's really important to know where you are in the song, knowing when the band drops out, when they build, when they come back in. There's a lot of stuff, including certain hits. So we'll unpack this song for a bit, and I'll kind of show you a few tricks to really getting a good foundation for this song. So first and foremost, I'm using just a P bass, and using flat wounds and kind of keeping my tone kind of at 50%. I really like, especially for this song where it's got a lot of gospel influence, some of the bass fills, the fills that the bass plays, you know, are very kind of, you know, just by nature of it, it's just got a lot of great like pentatonic scales, and there's a lot of like old school like Motown things that we can do, and one of the things that really helps get that tone and the feel is using flat wounds. There's certain things about flat wounds that can help you glide a little easier, and just a lot of cool things that you can do. So I'll kind of show you. This song is in the key of A, and we're going to kind of go through some of the parts. The verses are pretty simple for the most part. You know, it's just a walking up progression from the 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know, nothing too hard there, and then just really following. For the courses, when we get to the second course, there's a lot of, when the actual rhythm section kicks in, that's when we start noticing the bass like really kind of starting to play a lot more melodic. There's some movement, and you know, you don't have to play everything note for note, because I guarantee you in the live recording, the bass player was playing a lot of stuff that might have been off the cuff, just reading that drummer. And you know, the drummer that you're playing with, the guitar players that you're playing with might play things slightly different. So I would stress the fact that, you know, not every fill needs to be exact, because a lot of it's feeding off of the musicians. And so I would kind of pay attention to what your band is doing, and maybe try to get some of the same nuances, but it doesn't have to be exactly right. But there are a few things that I would say that you can do note for note. And so I'll kind of show you. So the courses, starting on the 4 to the 2, and then 1. There's a walk up. I would say that's something that, you know, you could do most times going into that course, because it kind of follows the melody, as well as there's some drum hits there. You know, just certain things like that can really make it feel cool. And later on in the song, probably the main focus that I want to, the main thing I want to focus on would be the bridges. There's I would say 3 different bridges almost that, you know, they all have their own little things, but the main thing that I want to focus on are the hits in the bridge. It's like kind of the Jesus Be the Center hits. You know, it's a good spot for the band to kind of hit something in unison. And so we have the 3, 4, 2, 3. So just kind of building for the most part. And then when the band kicks in, notice, there is like a little bass lead in at the start of the bridge. Just kind of doing like a little, this is a B, C sharp, E, because we want to get to this 5, and so, like I said, there's a lot of cool pentatonic stuff that you can do. And if you're wondering what is a pentatonic scale, you know, pentatonic means it's a 5-note scale. So for an A, there's a really easy shape to show you how to do a pentatonic scale. So if we're in A, then you go to a B for your 2. And you got your C sharp right there, it's 3. And then you just go up to this E, F sharp, and there you go, that's back to your A. So that's only 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just, to finish it off, you just go back to the A. But that's still just, so what that scale, or what that shape, a easy way to remember it. So if that's your starting place, you just slide up a whole step and you got a box right here. You know, these are the same frets. It's the 7th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, and then you got, you know, and then you go back to your A, and literally same thing right here. But you gotta go up to that A. But anyway, so like I said, and so that, I'm sure you've heard like certain fills or hooks kind of have that nuance to it. This is a major pentatonic, so that's kind of like what you're hearing. It's pretty much like that was the guitar hook to My Girl. Like that is just pretty much, if you want to know what a pentatonic scale sounds like, that is. And so that's used a lot in Motown, gospel music. Like there's a lot of, and you know, that's just the scale going top to bottom and whatnot. But there's a lot of things that you can do within the pentatonic scale that kind of gives you some really cool sounding notes. So for example, that lead in to the bridge. That's all just using the notes from the pentatonic scale. So you can just do something like that. So after the hits, you can do anything you want really with that pentatonic scale, and it's really cool because once you go up to this high A right here, you can keep going and do the pentatonic scale up here. So once you know where your A's are, or your 1s, you can kind of know, you can kind of map out some of your pentatonic stuff. But yeah, so there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot to unpack with this song. And the main thing is following the dynamics, paying attention to when the band drops out, when they come back in and build, and then something that you can do as a full band would be the hits on the bridge, which and so literally those hits, whether you want to play them up here or down here, it's, you got 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 1, 6, 7, 6, 5, 1. Whichever octave you want to do, and I'm sure if you do it more than once, you can change it up there. But yeah, that's there's a lot to unpack here, but like I said, it's one of those songs where you kind of learn something new every time you listen to it, and you can kind of find your own way around it, because you can play the song busy, or you can play this song like straightforward and driving and it still works. So it's kind of up to what however comfortable you are. So there you go. These are some tips to play Jesus at the Center.